that's got a case of extra mustache. Hey guys, this is my review for Mission Impossible 6 Fallout, the continuing series of Ethan Hunt going rogue and saving the world from nameless terrorists. I have been a somewhat fan of this series. What I've always found very intriguing is that the first three films are very different movies. The first one being a Brian De Palma, very espionage film. The second one being a John Woo jerk fest of doves and James Bond-like action sequences. And then the third one being J.J. Abrams' obsession with Tom Cruise running. After that, they kind of found their niche. Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, and Fallout are very similar in terms of how they're shot. The thing that was really cool about these last three movies is that they've been shot well and that they've gotten progressively better in terms of photography. This film is definitely the best shot in certain sequences. The first large portion of the film is very well shot. Absolutely fantastic cinematography. Really captures these action sequences both well as an intriguing way. For instance, that skydive, that's an actual halo jump that's happening. And that's an actual collision between the two actors in midair. But what's so cool about it is that at one point the focus doesn't pull. Like, you can see that they're blurred. But that's, I felt, gave a better level of authenticity to the scene, because you're like, yeah, we could only do this a few times and it didn't work all the way down, so we'll do the best one we have. And I love that. That really gave that extra level of intensity and authenticity to the scene. Does it even really make sense as to why they're doing it? No. And it's pretty much the exact same problem that this film and the last two Mission Impossible movies have had. You don't remember the villain. You don't remember their motives. You just remember that this weird British dude has a creepy voice and now he has a beard. But aside from that, the very murky, very non-developed plot lines of the villain's motivations in the Mission Impossible movies is here once again. But there's enough intensity, there's enough action, there's enough of a consistent narrative that you don't really care too much, especially with how well certain sequences are shot. There's a certain part in the middle of the film in France where they talk about doing this heist scene, and it's kind of a cop-out, but it's such a well-shot cop-out. And that's the thing, that every time that there is a part that's kind of like, well, this is corny, well, this is silly, it's shot very, very well. The DOP does a great job. Christopher McGuire definitely also, as director and writer, takes this in a less silly sort of avenue. There's still some kind of stupid technology, but it's not as ridiculous as the last two movies were. And it doesn't have that Scooby-Doo sort of theme that I felt the last one had. The last one, I swore the ending of that movie was straight out of a Scooby-Doo episode. This one definitely has a little bit more of a grounded level. The stunt sequences are still off the bloody charts, but it still doesn't delve too much into the stupidry of gadgetry. Another negative, however, to it is Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill is a pretty cool presence in this movie, but he does jack shit for the story. He's as plain as day. The instant you see him, hell, the trailers didn't even hide who his purpose is in the film. He doesn't really give that much other than his presence and his mustache. Was the mustache worth the ruining of the reshoots for Justice League? No. He's cool in the movie, but he's not an important asset. The relationship between Ethan and what's-her-name, Rebecca Ferguson's character in this film, is lighter than the last one. They kind of try to dip into the same avenue that the last movie had, which actually was an underrated development in my opinion. I actually gave it a little bit of crap last time, but I really think that was a very well done part. This one, they try to throw it in a little bit, but they also throw in his wife, you know, his ex-wife, or sorry, like Tom Cruise's Michelle Monaghan's wife character, who constantly gets thrown into these movies to actually matter. But in the means of it all, it's still a very entertaining movie. The stunt sequences are so well shot and so well executed that you will be in it. There's several car chases that are super well done, and even though the cars are super fake, you can tell at one point in this France scene, it's nowhere near as bad as it was in Rogue Nation, which is a great improvement. Aside from that though, it's still your normal run-of-the-mill Mission Impossible movie. You know how it's going to end, you know what's going to happen, but you know you're going to be entertained, and that's a good thing about it too. So in the end, I'm going to give Mission Impossible Fallout a 4 out of 7. It's a good time, but it's incredibly forgettable, just like the last two were. Anyways, guys, that's all from me. If you like this video, leave a like, and if you're interested, maybe subscribe. Otherwise, that's all from me. I'll see you guys next time.